Hello, and welcome back to Create Astral, where I just discovered what that little button in the bottom right is. There's a roll feature. It could come in handy. I've done a little work in between episodes, just decorating around here using all these andesite casings we're getting. This rain will not stop, it's very annoying. I've also moved all our storage and workbenches over here just to help clean things up a bit. And I went on a small little mining trip. I mostly just wanted to get enough diamonds to get our pickaxe up to Fortune 3, which we definitely have now, so put that on there. Other than that, the main thing I was looking for was copper and zinc, which I actually didn't find any zinc while I was down there. I think we might have to mine at a higher level, so I'm going to go back and see if we can find a bunch of that real quick. Alright, I just got back from a little mining trip. I found quite a bit of zinc, and this is going to be very handy in getting enough brass for us. I think the best way for us to process these ores right now is going to be to use these melters, and that's because it's going to turn one raw ore into 1 ingot and 3 nuggets, whereas the crushing wheel method that we've used before is only going to give us 1 out of it. And these melters can only hold 3 items at a time, so I've just got a hopper above it just so it can fit more as it goes. And we are going to have to get power to these mechanical pumps, and then the liquid will go into these tanks, and then we can just spout it out into these ingot cats here. And then with power to these guys, we should see the liquid start to come through. We'll just have to make sure we rotate these pumps so that they're facing the right way. And then I've got a couple of levers here just so we can automatically put these seared faucets on. And there we go. That's basically our ore processing system for now. I'm not going to put all of our ores into this just because I think we're going to get a better way to do this later today. But this is definitely going to help us make more brass. I think the next step we're going to try to achieve today is going to be to try and get some of these precision mechanisms automated, which we should be able to do a lot easier now that we have easier access to brass. And I don't think this will be too complicated to automate. We'll just have to get a few steps there first. And the first is definitely going to be to automatically make cogwheels and big cogwheels. And these are going to be done by pouring molten bronze onto cogwheels and on andesite alloy, which we should be able to do pretty easily real quick. The only downside of this is that there's no way to automatically make bronze right now. We can only do it in the smithing table, mixing copper and tin. The good news is this isn't going to be terribly difficult to automate. We're just going to use 2 different spouts on top of depots. This one is going to pour bronze onto andesite alloy, and that's going to make us our tiny cogwheels. And then this one is going to pour bronze onto cogwheels, and then that's going to give us our large ones. And then we can just throw up a melter right next to it, and then this is where we're going to get our liquid bronze from. And then in the back here, we should be able to just set up a easy pipe system like this to connect it all. And then if we give our pump some power, we should start to see our liquid bronze come through. Yep, there's some now. And then if we throw some andesite alloy on here, we should start to see it spit out, and we're going to get some cogwheels. And then if we throw those cogwheels under this one, we're going to see it spit, and we're going to get large cogwheels. And then the only other thing we're going to have to automate here is the brass casing, which is the same recipe as the andesite casing machine we have over here. We'll just have to use brass instead of andesite. And with these automated, we should have everything we need to craft up some precision mechanisms. Here we are. Ideally, we would like to use these to make production mechanisms now, which shouldn't be too complicated. It's going to be a little heavy on the obsidian. It says it's going to take about 20 powdered obsidian. We aren't going to need too many of these right away, but it would be nice to get a couple out of the way just so we can get going. And then we're going to use these production mechanisms to get into industrial revolution here. I've made up a couple crushing wheels, and these are just the same recipe as normal, just made in these mechanical crafters here. And this is the only way I can think to get obsidian right now. I'm sure there's a way to automate it with Create, but this will do until we have a need for it. Alright, it's been a little while. I've done a lot more decorating around here. I think we're getting a pretty nice base going. And up here, I've actually set up our crushing wheels. And this is what's going to turn our obsidian into obsidian dust for us. And there's actually a 75% chance that we're going to get a piece of obsidian back from every obsidian dust that we crush. So hopefully we come out profitable here. Yep, we got a pretty solid return, and then we can just throw these right back up here, and then we can keep doing that as we get more powdered obsidian. And then we're going to use this powdered obsidian in this little contraption I made here. We're going to throw them in the deployer right here. And then if we throw down one of our precision mechanisms onto this depot, we're going to see it get spout. And I was really hoping it was going to move to the next one. I'm going to have to figure out how we do that. But I'll just do it manually now just to show you. We'll throw it under the deployer, and that's going to put its powdered obsidian on it. And then we press it under here. And then the idea is that it's going to move on to this weighted objector here. And then this is going to launch it right back to the beginning. That's not good. So yeah, I'm going to have to figure out how we can get this working automatically. Okay, it took me a minute to remember how to do this, but I remember now you'd have to use belts to get this to where it just goes across. And may need to extend it so that this weighted ejector works. Here we go, I've definitely got it working now. This has to go through about 20 times. Yeah, perfect. And then at the end here, I'm going to put a brass funnel with a filter on it for the finished product, just so it doesn't keep going through the loop once it's done. Here we go, it should be done here now. And now we should be able to put our brass funnel on the back here, and if I can reach it, get this filter on it. And there we go, there's our first production mechanism. And I've got enough powdered obsidian here to make about 3 more now, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop these in. First thing we're gonna do with this production mechanism now is get ourselves one of these machine blocks from Industrial Revolution, and this is gonna allow us to make a lot of the machines we're gonna use for the future. And we should have everything we need already. We're just gonna need a couple of these nickelite dusts. And here we go, here's our first machine block. And I think the first machine I want to grab here is going to be the solid infuser. And this is going to help progress us through Industrial Revolution quite a bit. The only other thing we're going to need for this is another one of these deployer setups to make a Mark I circuit. Luckily this recipe is a lot cheaper than the one with obsidian. Alright, I've got my setup here now. If you're curious how these weighted ejectors work, all you have to do is shift right click on where you want it to land, and then just place it down. Make sure you give it some power. We'll get a shaft behind here, and that's pretty much all you have to do. When you throw an item on there, it'll launch itself all the way back to the beginning. Now for our Mark I circuits, we're going to throw 3 nickelite dusts into this deployer, and then 3 copper sheets in this one, and then we just throw a golden sheet on here. And this one only has to run through 3 times instead of 20. And I'll definitely put another brass filter on this one when it's done, so it doesn't have to keep running through the loop. And now we should have everything we need to make our solid infuser. We aren't going to be able to use this just yet. We're going to have to find a way to get some power. Unfortunately, I think we're going to have to save that for next episode. I spent most of today building, so I've run out of time here. There is one last thing we can do today, and that is upgrade our brass armor into diamond armor. And all we have to do for that is spout molten diamond onto our brass armor, and it's going to take 8 for the chest plate, and I assume it's the normal numbers for the rest of the armor too. And I don't think it's going to be 1-to-1 here as it is with normal armor, so hopefully I have enough diamonds. I gathered quite a few from that mining trip earlier. So all we should have to do is throw our armor onto the depot here, and it should just spout out all the diamonds onto it. I think I might have severely underestimated how many diamonds this is going to take. So yeah, we are definitely going to need more. I've already gone through over half a stack, and we only got the leggings and boots done. But hopefully I can get that done between now and next episode. That is going to do it for today though. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.